All right. Happy to have Julia Tai coming on. She's going to join me in a second and talk about what it was like living in China during COVID with getting these food rations that she was brought to her apartment. She came on the show a few years ago. So we're going to talk about where she's been since then and how she's doing now. She has an online language school so you can learn Chinese and book that. We'll show you how to do that. She's going to be on in a second. And we're going to talk about also just food and farming and grocery shopping and all that stuff because I'm really interested in food and farming now because that's what I do. What's the difference in China versus the United States? And I think there might be some surprises. In some cases, like during COVID, it was very dicey because the government really controlled everything, and so she would get a box of food that would come every day, and in some cases, maybe some people would complain that it was not enough food, and you just had to do what the government said. In other cases, you know what? In some ways, the Chinese are much healthier than Americans, and so you got to ask your question why. Julia's going to talk to us all about that. I am going to do a quick update of the news. I am now going to start this weekly. I don't know if I'm going to use all the animals or just chickens. I'd love your feedback, but we read the news to the chickens now. I have a broody chicken. It means basically she's laying on a nest. She will not leave her nest, and actually the original broody chicken has now left the nest, and there is a new broody chicken, which will be profiled in the next chicken news video. But let me know what you think about this. This is my quick update from last week, and then we're going to bring Julia in. You've missed a lot of news while you've been sitting on those eggs for the last week, so I brought you the headlines. We might be going to war with Iran. People are out protesting ICE raids, in some cases setting a lot of stuff on fire. Now, I know you're hot, but it's not that kind of ICE. It stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's totally different. One of Elon Musk's spaceships blew up. Also, Elon Musk and President Trump are in this big public fight. It might be totally fake, but it's must-read Twitter, so I'll bring your cell phone out here. I think it'll really help you pass the time. There's been a chicken fettuccine Alfredo recall from Walmart and Kroger after people got sick and died from listeria. Yeah, sorry, people eat chicken. Martha Stewart has apparently made a lot of her fans mad because she says she likes lots of condiments on her hot dogs, and people are like, hot dogs are way better plain. And then something that you'll really relate to, the guy who founded Telegram says he's going to evenly divide his billions among his over 100 children. And those are the headlines you've missed while you were sitting on eggs for the last week. Okay, so there you go. What do you guys think? Am I going to continue the chicken news videos? Please vote in the comment section. To bring you back a few years, this came from The Guardian. Shanghai's lockdown protests revealed tensions over zero COVID. A lot of people will remember this. China's determination to enforce zero COVID policies is pushing its vast, bustling financial hub to a breaking point. And this article just discusses protests over it and what it was like, where people were basically forced to stay in their houses. And, you know, here's a quote. The food supply crisis in Shanghai has been a key issue that has surprised Shanghai's residents and led them to question the anti-COVID strategy. The problem is that without better logistics and supplies of food and other essentials, there is pressure to relax restrictions, but a relaxation will likely lead to the virus spreading, and scenes such as those in Hong Kong, protests and instability seem unavoidable either way. And that is according to Professor Jane Duckett, longtime follower of Shanghai politics and society at the University of Glasgow. Julia Tai, my guest, and also my friend, lived through that. And here she is. She was on the show. Julia, you came on the show a couple years ago to talk about this. And actually, we removed the video out of concerns for your safety. And we can talk about that in a minute. But can you remind people a little bit about what was it like when you were in your apartment? And can you tell people the rules? Like, let's start there. What were the rules at the time? You had to stay in your apartment. You couldn't go out grocery shopping. They brought you the food. Remind us what that was like.
Yeah. Okay, back to that time. Like
It was crazy.
2 years ago. Yeah, it was crazy. And I remember, we were very anxious at home. And anxious at home, trying to get the food because in the beginning, okay, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so before the lockdown in Shanghai, actually we got the notice, and we were told we're gonna to be locked down for like 1 week. And then people start to, because okay, wait a second, I need to let everybody know, in Shanghai it divided 2 parts. One is east part, another is west part.
Uh-huh.
And so for the west part is where that there are more people there, and it's it's there are more people there, more store there. They grow earlier. Okay, that area grow earlier. And the east part, it's there are less people, and they develop it later on. So there are more the mm, new house and more foreigner there. But in western part, people like to live there because everything is developed. So in the beginning, actually, it's the eastern part, east of Shanghai. It got locked down, and for like 1 month, and then after that, and then western part start to be locked down. So when the west of Shanghai start to be locked down, so at that time the eastern part haven't be released the lockdown. So but in west of Shanghai, we start to get lockdown. We thought only 5 days. So
They said it was going to be 5 days.
only 5 days. So we
Wow.
start to prepare food, vegetable,
Uh-huh.
meat for 5 days. But some people in the west of Shanghai, they think, oh, the east of Shanghai haven't been released for lockdown, so maybe it will be longer. So some people they prepare more food. Some people no, they only prepare for 5 days. So and then when it's come to the end of 5 days, the fifth stage in west of Shanghai, and we didn't get any notice from government, from Shanghai government, then people start to get anxious and wondering when will we can go out. But uh, this the residents citizens don't think Shanghai is a very popular place. How could it possible be locked continue, because the west of Shanghai is the how should I say the most the company people live so locate, and most company locate and people leave, so they don't think they would be locked for a long time. Then 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, and we didn't get any notice, and people get anxious, and then we start to count how many vegetable left in my refrigerator. I need to count the leaf, because the piece of how many piece of a leaf the vegetable I have, I dare not to eat. And
Wow.
yeah, and then um
Because they weren't bringing you at the time, were they not bringing you any food?
no, at that time, for the first week, no, nothing. After the fifth day, I think around like around 5 days,
Uh-huh.
nothing. We're just waiting, and then people get anxious, and then start to make a recording, record the video and post on TikTok, social media. So government feels stressed, and so they change strategy. So
Okay,
they
interesting.
start to say, okay, we were gonna to provide food delivered to
Mhm.
your home. And in the beginning, um, yeah, and then we start to get food, but um, the variety for the food supply to us is very limited. It's only maybe one salty meat, one bag of rice, and like three vegetables. And we don't know the horrible part is we don't know when is the next supply.
Right.
So how can you eat? You
Yeah.
dare not to eat. And for cooking, see, cooking one meal, how many ingredients or variety of food you need to put into the one cuisine, right? One
Mhm.
dish, right? But we only
Right.
have one salty meat and three type of vegetable. Can you cook? You cannot really cook. So the food you make is horrible. Was horrible. Yeah, and you need some, because Chinese like to use some like the green onion,
Mhm.
those kind of ingredients. You don't have the ingredients, so taste is awful. So and then after that, after the while, and then um and then
What
some
did
people
Hey, Julia, quick question. Did it ever become more regular that when you would know you'd get the next delivery of food, or was it
no,
always just, "No,
always
we have no
waiting. We
idea,
don't know. Yeah, we
never
don't
know"?
know. Yeah, but we found a tendency. We found tendency is about maybe 1 week or 7 days to 10 days.
Wow. And
Before the
that's
first,
all the food you described, you had to have last 7 to 10 days, one piece of meat, a few
yeah,
vegetables.
yeah.
Was that increased for a family who had kids or
That's a good
grandparents?
question. That's a good question. That's amounts for one household.
One household. So no
One
matter how many
household.
people are in the household.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. So that's make people go, going crazy.
Yeah.
And that is was not the biggest crazy part. And then and then um and then we saw some more the videos, on the social media, on WeChat. I don't know whether you know WeChat. On WeChat is the platform we send text to each other, and yeah, we only use WeChat. We don't use WhatsApp or other uh, chatting app. So back to that time, and then after a while, and then we start to be able to order food online. The online supermarket start open running. Okay, so but the food are limited because we still are granted at home, right? We cannot go out. We're locked at home. Most of majority people locked at home. No taxi driver, no taxi.
Mhm.
So we only order online and limited on the online supermarket. So we can only uh, the online supermarket they only open a certain period of time. For example, one online app is open on 6 a.m. and another time is 8 a.m. And the 6 a.m. I need to get up early and to grab the food, grab food only for like 5 minutes. During the 5 minutes, it's a traffic. It's a traffic. I cannot pay the buy button.
Oh,
Uh,
because too
I
many
put
people using the
That's
website.
right. Yes, yes. To use the app. So
Amazing.
and 5 minutes, and I pick up a lot of food. Grab into the shopping cart, but I
Uh-huh.
cannot make a payment. And after 5 minutes, a lot of food. When you want to pay, it's already gone because already bought. So every day, feel desperate to grab food, and only one time is 6 a.m. or because and the time 8 a.m. not much food left. So so that's the horrible part. Another horrible part is I saw the other video, the other province that they want to ship the food to Shanghai, but
Uh-huh.
be thrown away by the some people. I think that those people are Shanghai government, belong to the Shanghai government. They control those people. I don't know why. So a lot of people feel like why the other provinces they try to, because they saw a lot of the video, they would try to supply food, save their food, and to supply food to Shanghai. But the governor, they just throw the food away. So I think there was some I don't know how to say that in English, the bad things
Uh-huh.
they plan in the
Yep.
back. Yeah. We heard about that there are different the how should I say, the powers in the
Mhm.
local Shanghai government. And other provinces, I heard about other south of provinces, they didn't experience this situation.
Mm.
Um, the local government deal with the lockdown differently. Yeah.
Julia, before we go any further, let me just real fast tell everybody that they can have you as a Chinese teacher if they want to learn Mandarin Chinese. You can get a free lesson. You can book a consultation, and they also have here. You go to adult students beginner Chinese class. So there's a very easy to use website, but it's jadechinese.us, JADE Chinese.us. If Julie's going to tell us a little bit more about that school in a second. If you want to have a glass of wine while you're taking Julia's Chinese class, which I don't know, does that help you speak better Chinese? Maybe it does. You can go to AllisonWinePromo.com and join my wine club. They all come from very small operations around the world in some very remote places. My Argentine wine, for instance, from between 6 and 9,000 feet in some cases, fifth generation family vineyards, old world winemaking techniques. They use natural fermentation in a lot of cases. They don't add a lot of the fillers and the dyes and the preservatives and stuff that's in the grocery store wines, the bulk wines, commercial wines. A lot of wines in my wine club would not be available in the United States if it weren't for the wine club. So they're very select, unique bottles. You can sign up for the year. You'll get a shipment of 6 bottles of wine every 3 months. And if you're not a wine drinker, you give them away as presents. There's always a holiday or always some terrible headline that's worth just having a glass of wine while you sit with your chickens and bemoan the state of humanity. So AllisonWinePromo.com, go sign up or sign up somebody. I don't know, sign up. What do we have? What holidays coming up? Well, we have July 4th. We have July 4th coming up. So you can sign a veteran up for the wine club. Labor Day, sign a worker, somebody who works for the wine club. But anyway, and you could have your glass of wine. Julia won't care if you have a glass of wine while you're in Chinese class. I don't think she's going to care. Okay, so Julia, let me go back to the article, and we'll wrap up this part, because I think for a lot of us, I mean, in the United States, it was not great. We had a lot of problems here, but it seemed really, really tough to live through that in Shanghai. I mean, we complain about our government here, but what you just described sound really, really tough. Has that changed the way you think about emergency events, I guess, or food security, the way that, do you keep more non-perishable food items? Like, you keep rice, like you were talking about, you only got 1 bag of rice. Do you keep more stuff that doesn't go bad, in your cabinet for fear that this could happen again? Or have you just kind of moved on and let it go? I mean, how has this changed your perspective on food, on the government, that kind of thing?
You mean right now?
Yeah. Now, how do you feel differently now? Do you feel like, in other words, if I lived through that, I'd probably have more stuff in my cabinets in preparation for a disaster. Or I might not live in Shanghai anymore. I might move out of Shanghai, like you did. You live in California now.
Yes,
So yeah,
that's the main reason I'm here.
that's the main reason. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just curious, has that changed your perspective on, like, did you think that anything like that could happen? At the time, did it shock you? Did you expect that anything like that could happen? And how has that changed the way you think about this stuff now? Do you get a little, like, my grandma, for instance, she lived through World War II, and they didn't waste any food, because they didn't have food
Mm.
for a long time, right? So she didn't like to waste food. She'd eat and she told me my great grandma, she would eat the whole apple, even the core and the seeds and everything. They didn't waste anything. And that really
Yeah,
changed
even the
her
core.
perspective. So curious for you, does that change the way that you think about anything nowadays?
To be honest, I think yeah, I'm the kind of person I like a healthy style. I like healthy food. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't like store food, and I don't like eat canned food. Canned
Right.
food.
Yep.
So I think the reason why that the horrible things happened in Shanghai during the Shanghai lockdown was because the people's they are, how should I say, the fighting for power. Yeah. So I think that's the main reason. So that's why I think changing area is better.
Yeah.
But
To
like
remove.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said, every there's no perfect
No perfect
things,
place. Yep.
no perfect place, no perfect person. Nah, yeah, but
Well, let me
okay.
ask you another question that came through on locals at AllisonMorrow.locals.com. You can be on my editorial board. You get all the updates on the farm. You get to ask questions ahead of time for interviews. They asked about why we took the video down. Remember, you came on the show, you did a video with me about all of that as it was happening, but then you were concerned for your safety, so we took the video down. Can you talk a little bit about why you were concerned?
Yeah, but yeah, because people, I think it's not news. I think a lot of people knows that in China, the government they have absolutely power, and so that's why the Shanghai lockdown will be like this for 3 months, and yeah, so I was not grew I didn't grow up in Shanghai, but I heard about it from my friend, the from my Chinese friends, I mean the mainland China, yeah, people, the friends, and then they think people can spear. You can, or maybe you don't know where are they going. Okay, they were
Well,
going.
were you nervous that you were gonna go to jail for speaking out, or what were you the most concerned about?
Okay, the concern is uncertainty. I didn't know what was going to happen because
Uh-huh.
at that time, during the COVID lockdown,
Yep.
I even saw the video that people, because they want to kill the COVID, and so some people they already got COVID at home. They need to be sent to the quarantine center. And the
Uh-huh.
quarantine center is horrible. It's an open space, like a gym, open space. And then they put like 7,000 people there. Can you imagine? Were not enough toilet to build right away, right? So
Right.
it's horrible. The hygiene, the environment, and a lot of people. And during the night, the light was on, and people snore. And you see, you put sick people there. Can you? Even though people are not sick, if you be put there for like 1 month, they will get sick, right? Not even to mention about the sick people. So people were very scared to be sent to there. So um and then so people, I see the video, some people they got sick, and then they be shipped to there, and then there are some, I don't know, policemen or the government, group of people, they went to their home to clean, to like to spray something, the
Yeah.
chemical or something at their home, and then they didn't want that, so you know they try to stop those people to go to their home, but they came from the window. Can you imagine? That's terrible. So and then that scared me also, because I
Yeah.
will feel, what thing they cannot do, what kind of thing they cannot do. It seems they can do everything.
Right.
So everything have good or bad. That's kind of absolutely, the power. And but in China, if people they, if they murder someone, or they will be, to uh, uh, penalty they have death penalty. So that's also scare the bad people, right? So I mean, so nothing is absolutely good or bad, but that kind of behavior, they um invade, should I use invade? They invade the citizen, the resident's home, try to, to spread the chemical, those kind of thing, and took the sick people away, go to the quarantine center.
Mhm.
That's very scary.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I can understand. It was just the unknown that I mean, but not just the unknown, what you already did know about what was happening was scary enough. One
I
of
I mean, I know what will happen to me, but because I know something happened horrible, so I
yeah,
scared about, yeah.
right. Well, okay, let's move on to some other questions I was going to ask you just generally about farming and food in China. If you look at headlines, let me show you some of the headlines that I found just doing a quick search today. This one, China is buying up American farms. Washington wants to crack down. So basically, the American government saying the Chinese government, needs to stop buying farmland in the United States. And then this is more recent. The U.S. farmers face tough outlook as China switches suppliers amid trade war. We send apparently a lot of soybeans. I think we're the number one exporter of soybeans for China, and so there's this trade war happening, and Chinese government might not be importing a bunch, or from the United States. You see this U.S. ag sector should be on alert after last deal with China fell short. There's obviously like quite a lot of money tied up with the United States and Chinese agriculture on a large commercial level. I wouldn't say for people like me who have a few goats. I mean, we don't have any real connection to China, but when it comes to these big crops, the commodity crops, I think even pigs, pork, that kind of thing. So that's what you see about when you read the news about Chinese agriculture. You don't really get much of a feel for what it's like to eat just the average Chinese person. Like what is the grocery store shopping like? Do you go to a market that's like an open air market, or do you go to a big grocery store like we have in the United States? You live in LA now, do you go to that? So can you tell us a little bit about, like, say you wake up one morning, you're out of groceries. Where do you go? What do you do, and what kind of foods do you like to buy?
I see. You're asking me about when I was in China, right?
China, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
When I was in Shanghai, I grew up in Taiwan, right? I was born in Taiwan. I grew up in Taiwan, but I went to Shanghai to live for 15 years.
Mhm.
So uh, yeah, and Taiwan and Shanghai, we will have a lot of the store just in the walking distance. Yeah, so you can easily to go to get the food, go to get the groceries, and with very affordable price. Um, yeah.
And you like
So
to buy, you said earlier that you like fresh foods, you don't like canned stuff. Is that
yeah,
common? Was that common for people, who lived around where you lived? People like fresh foods, they don't like, unhealthy foods? What tell us a little bit
okay.
about that.
I see. Okay, I'm very special.
You
I
are?
can
Okay, so not a lot of people eat like you.
I I I'm really pursued healthy life,
Uh-huh.
and I really emphasize what I eat. So but a lot of people of course in Taiwan or in China, mainland China, they care about healthy, especially women. Yeah. So that's yeah, so that's why I like eat fresh food, but most of people like eat fresh food. And
Mhm.
I think the biggest the difference between American and people in China is the way of making food.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, did I drop the topic? I
No, no, that's good. I wanna know the answer. Yeah,
Okay,
what's the
okay.
biggest
Yeah,
difference with making food? What do you mean by
yeah,
that?
making food.
Yep.
You know mm, the Chinese, they like to stir fry food.
Uh-huh.
Stir fry, and American like to use oven and to barbecue food. And then but when I was in Taiwan, we were told by the government, the in the the educational video, that we those burned food because of the barbecue, right? So you're gonna some part become black burnt, and we were told that it would cause cancer. So I didn't want to eat those burned part. Yeah. And so I think the way of cooking, we tend to like to use a steam or stir
Mhm.
fried, or maybe like slow cook
Okay.
the bone soup, or the chicken bone soup, this kinds of, yeah. So that's big difference. And another thing is the second difference. People in America tend to like to drink cold water,
Uh-huh.
cold water. But in Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine, they think cold water, cold food, ice cream actually is bad for body circulation. So when your circulation is not good, so then the nutrition that go to the part of the body, gonna slow down, and the trash in the body gonna to stay. So
What do you think about this trend of people doing cold plunges where they dump in ice tanks? They just dump themselves, jump in the cold water, and all these videos of people jumping in ice cold water, and ooh, and they shiver, and they, and they, cold
okay.
plunging. It's kind of a trend. In the winter, Florida, obviously in the not in the winter. It's some, which is, winter's like 4 months out of the year, which is, and it's beautiful. It's like California, 70 degrees high, but it might get down to 40 at night, or even 28 at night. So when you wake up in the morning, I'll run out to the water trough that the cows drink out of, and I jump right in it because the water's nice and cold. And I like to do that first thing in the morning. It kind of wakes me up. But you must think that's crazy.
Oh, yes. Okay. Since you mentioned this, yeah, I want to talk about this. Yes, I think, yeah, actually the Western or maybe American way of, like, the maybe the study or maybe the habits, the lifestyle habits, people like to, to uh, get used to the cold things or cold environments. Yeah. But yeah, for example, or maybe they, yeah, I heard about people say, take a cold shower and then change it to hot shower and then to take in turn, in the one shower, so they can boost the circulation. I i didn't try that, so, and I didn't, do that experiment with some measurements, so I didn't really know. But I'm afraid of cold. So yeah. And another things, yeah, Chinese things like the drink hot water, right? They also like to soak their feet in hot water, so that we regard this is very good way to keep beauty and keep you healthy. Yeah, so some people, they just soak their feet to hot water every day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask Julia what she thinks about the health of the Chinese people she lived around versus the health of the Americans that she lives around now in a second. But one of my favorite products at greenpasture.org, promo code Allison for 10% off. I should say all of their products are great. They have all kinds of health related products, but my favorite thing we take every day is the fermented cod liver oil concentrated butter oil blend. So it's a fermented cod liver oil, which I should add, if you're anyone who's heard about fermentation, it unlocks a lot of nutrients in, like, say, for instance, cabbage. Cabbage is just cabbage. You ferment it. It's sauerkraut. Sauerkraut has all these vitamins and minerals. It's so good for your gut. And the same benefits of fermentation come to the cod liver oil. So you're just taking a fish oil right now, just any old fish oil. They're not created the same. The fermented cod liver oil is far healthier, and then it's mixed with a concentrated butter oil. So these two together, they have all the vitamins and minerals that allow you to absorb the most out of each. So if you just took a fish oil or you just took a concentrated butter oil, you wouldn't get the same benefits. But because they are mixed together, they have all of the vitamins that synergistically work for your needs to absorb all of them. It was a product, really a food. It's a food. It's not really a supplement, but just for linguistic sake, I'm going to call it a product that Dr. Weston Price, biological dentist, turn of the 20th century, kind of came up with a formulation, I guess, because he was a dentist who was seeing all these cavities. People had all these cavities. He associated and blamed on processed foods. People were malnourished, not getting enough vitamin D, K, and A. And he studied indigenous cultures around the world that had no dentists but had no cavities, and he studied their food. And these are the vitamins basically that he said we needed. And this is the way you get them in the most I guess powerful, the best absorption for your body. These products together, the fermented cod liver oil with the butter oil. So if you go to greenpasture.org, use Allison at checkout. I've been taking this for over a decade. It considerably helped me on my problem with cavities. I used to go to the dentist every 6 months. I get cavities all the time. And I started taking this long before they ever sponsored a show or even had a show. I was still in TV news when I was taking this. And, I would go back to the dentist, no cavities. So again, greenpasture.org, promo code Allison. They've got a lot of stuff. They have this muscle balm, which is really great. I like this muscle balm a lot. It's all natural stuff. Like, this is tallow and fermented fermented cod liver oil and fermented skate liver oil with concentrated butter oil, and then a bunch of what do you call it? Essential oils. And so it smells good. And I use it like almost every day on my neck, my hands and stuff, because we work on the farm. So anyway, greenpasture.org, promo code Allison. You will not be disappointed. So, okay. So Julia, yeah, big question. Obviously, like, chronic disease related to food in the United States is a really big problem. Heart disease, cholesterol problems, which is not from eggs. I should just add, everybody like blames eggs, or even from cholesterol in your food. It is, usually from inflammatory foods like sugary foods and stuff like that. But anyway, and then your body produces the cholesterol in a response to inflammation. But we have all these food related disease problems. We're a fat country. We're like one of the sickest countries in the world, even though we have so much money. And I'm curious, how does it compare when you just walk around the United States? I mean, obviously, LA is a little different. Los Angeles is a little different than the rest of the United States. It's kind of, I would say not necessarily a fair representation of what the rest of the country looks like, but just given you lived in Seattle for a little bit, that's where we met. You've been around, you've seen some different parts of the country. What do you think about, how does health in the United States compare to health back in China or Taiwan?
Okay, I think what I experienced, I feel the people in America, they are grouped into two major group. One group of people, they care about health a lot, very, and so they like to eat salad and all those
Are you talking about
organic,
here?
yeah,
Are you talking about here or back in China?
in America.
In America, yeah.
Yeah, group into
Okay.
the two group people. Yeah,
Yep.
one is one group people in America. They care about the healthy a lot, so they only eat like organic and eat salad a lot. They have very strict self discipline, and another group of people um they they don't care. They like to eat fried food. Yeah, anything tastes good, and big portion of food. So I feel that's what I observe in America. And but in China or in Taiwan is more okay, a little bit different. Okay, in Taiwan, majority people, they care about health, so they care about how to cook the food, so tend to like to eat steamed food. I mean, maybe like 50% people, they care about this. Yeah, and also the advertisement in TV, the government how should I create it? Okay, in Taiwan, they want to how should I say, promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy food. Yeah. And then in China, majority people, if they have if they're middle class, okay, middle class, the family people, they tend to eat relative healthy food, even though still have the Chinese food stir fry, they add a lot of oil as well, but they will care about to choose the type of oil, and less oily thing. And Shanghai is a place that they got influenced a lot by Western country, America as well. So they will absorb those things, the good things from America. For example, the celery juice actually is from America. Yeah, but a lot
Oh,
of
really?
yeah,
I've just
actually,
learned
yeah. You
now
go to
more.
Amazon, there's a book called Magic Celery Juice. Magic
Okay.
Celery Juice is very popular, and it's very popular in Shanghai. And I even joined the one of group and to do this, and I found it really good. Yeah.
I
So
drink it every morning now as a way to try to increase potassium because, I was potassium deficient, and you can eat a lot of salad and vegetables and stuff, but celery juice I found is a really quick, easy way to get good nutrients and especially potassium.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you also care about
Yeah, I'm pretty healthy too. But Julia used to in Seattle, she used to give me a lot of tips when I was there about, when I was sick, she would tell me my tea and remember?
Oh, okay, okay. I forgot, but I'm
You don't
glad
remember that?
you.
Oh, you used to give me all kinds of advice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really care about health. Yeah, I would attract you to those information. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, since we're getting close to the end of the show, let me throw a few questions your way. Okay, I know we talked about this before, so I'll just answer it. So Magpie asks, what about rumors that Xi's health is poor and he's no longer completely in charge of the party. Can she openly discuss these things? You don't really know much about that, right? You said you kind of were paying news. Okay. This was one you did have a good answer to, that you know pretty well, and that is cash dead in China from DMC? Basically, do people use cash in China, or is everything digital basically?
Yeah, everything digital. Yeah. So even though for the, the open market, the store, only the one person owner, or yeah. So people don't use cash anymore. It's yeah, because it's actually technology in China. Um, it's quite lot very convenience. The a lot of people there that invent a lot of convenient app. The for people to use. So we order taxi. We don't need to call, or just
What what
place
payment
order.
methods what payment methods do you use? How do you
We
pay?
Alipay or WeChat, both
On
are.
this on your cell phone?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
so easy. Yeah.
Do you ever get concerned? I know people here get kind of concerned about the government being able to have a lot of information about your purchases because everything's digital. So cash, gives you some privacy because it's untraceable basically. But, digital, everybody knows what you're doing. The government can basically track everything you're doing, or these companies can track whatever you're doing.
First thing, first of all, I'm not rich, so I think only rich people will need to concern about that question. Yeah.
Oh,
And
goodness.
yeah, secondly, I think okay, if they track, um I think how much cash, a person can can take with them, So if even though for rich people they don't bring cash with them a lot, right? So I think for the transaction, if that use cash, it doesn't really, will to reveal they are rich or not. So but government, they do Chinese government, they do control the money go out, and go out of China, take the Chinese
Mm.
currency, go out of China. They do control that. Yeah.
This is interesting, given what you said earlier about the cooking methods in the United States versus China. Critical Thought says browning food drives the Maillard reaction, which creates advanced glycation end products. And there are some studies linking AGEs with certain cancers. Boiling, steaming, poaching, etc. Non-browning methods reduce the chances of driving cancer with AGEs. So there you go. Um, how
Okay.
about this?
Thank
How
you for
about this
checking.
question? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, thank you for checking. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Magpie says, "When are you gonna move out of communist California?" A lot of people think do you what do you think about that? Yeah, we joke about that in the United States, California, because the government has a lot more control in California than a lot of the other states. But you must look at it like it's not nothing compared to China.
Yeah. The first
What do you
thing,
think?
yeah, first thing, I don't really care about the politics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
I
doesn't
think
care
I
about politics. I see that.
actually, I care about whether my life will be. In fact, I understand that different party will definitely affect our personal life, but how much I can influence that. Yeah, and so that's the reason. I normally don't care too much, because I don't know. My power is very limited. I know my power is very limited, so I how much I can influence that.
Mhm.
So in California, um yeah, I care
You
about.
kinda do your thing. You do your thing, and you pay attention to your Chinese school, and I should say, and I know you're grateful to be there because I know was quite the adventure, I guess, that's probably the nice way to say it, to get out of Shanghai and to get to the United States, so I know you're grateful to be here. Julia, tell people a little bit about jadechinese.us. That's where they can go to book a consultation or a free lesson to learn Mandarin Chinese. Tell us about the school that you started and what you do.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I started last year, so we're
Uh-huh.
pretty new startup, and we focus on help the people to learn Mandarin from zero. And my student age from 6 years old, and to 70 years old, and you will found actually learning Mandarin Chinese is not very hard. It's a matter of familiarity. So the name of the school actually given by one of my American students. Um, okay, so you found that learning Chinese character actually you help you to associate with the meaning, and it's very fun. Yeah. And we have a beginner lesson. It's around 12 hours. You will learn uh, the basic of the pronunciation system and the writing system, and you can also to type, send message to your friend. And a lot of people, they think Chinese is very hard because they haven't learned. Um, our the level one course only 4 months. 4 months you are able to introduce yourself and tell other people your allergy, your interest, and you can take the metro, and you can recognize character. Only in 4 months you can pass there is a Chinese for proficiency test. So the structured program that can help you to reach that level if you really engage to put your time in. Yeah. So it's not something difficult. It's just you just need to start, and you found very interesting and attainable. Yeah.
Okay. Julia, I really appreciate
Oh,
your coming
by
on
the
the show.
way,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Just let you know one thing that's you know uh one of my student that she only took like 2 months, 2 to 3 months, she able to to make Chinese friend, and to talk
Oh.
to them and text to them. So yeah, it's just let you know. Yeah.
So, yes, if you've ever been just even considering learning Mandarin Chinese, come on. You now you feel like you know Julia. She's obviously very articulate when it comes to having lived through the craziness of COVID and what food, and she's very interested in food and health. And she'll be a great teacher. She's very patient and will help you out quite a bit. I'm going to take the class. I think I'm thinking about me and my kids, and maybe my husband if when he's here, he travels a lot for work. Maybe we can do a family class. But I think it would be really fascinating to just try it out. So anyway, I can't recommend Julia enough. She's been a great friend of mine since we met in Seattle. We met through church, through our Bible study, and she's a wonderful human being, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And I love you a lot, Julia. I thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else? Oh, I should also add too, you can send me mail before I wrap it up. You can send me real mail, P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida 34432. Thank you to everybody who sends cards, notes of encouragement, tips for the show. We got books, all kinds of good stuff. So really love hearing from everybody in the mail. Thank you to everybody who supports me through that and supports the sponsors. And yeah, Julia, any final closing thoughts? Before we go, I could show a farm video after you. I'll show one farm video about how we healed a chicken's leg after Julia gives us her final words. Go ahead, Julia. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Or you
Okay.
want to
Just
think
if you have
about it while
any
I show my
question,
video?
yeah, if any question, and just book a consultation with me. Yeah, and
Yep.
thank you so much for your time, and yeah, brought me up to talk with your audience. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. And yeah, here's my quick hang on, I'm trying to cue this up here. Here's my quick video about healing our chicken's leg whose leg got broken. And I should say, if you like this stuff, I've been posting a lot more short content on my Instagram, which is Allison Morrow TV. I think Facebook, Allison Morrow, and then YouTube. Our YouTube farm channel is Off Gridish Living. You can see it down kind of in the bottom screen here, Off Gridish Living. So go subscribe to that channel. Here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it. Okay, Julia? Chick has made a full recovery after breaking her leg. We were moving the chicken coop one day, and she got in front of one of the bars and it came down on her, and thankfully she's okay. And I was looking up videos about one-legged chickens, and I saw that actually they can recover if you let them rest. So I figured, let's just try it out. I put her back in the brooder with one other chick so she wouldn't be all alone. Now she's flying around the coop. She's jumping from roosting bar to roosting bar. So it took about a month to 6 weeks, just rest. We didn't do anything else. We didn't put a splint on her. We didn't take her to the vet. We just let her rest. for a month, a little over a month, and totally back to normal. So just make sure you remove the injured chicken from the coop because those other hens will pick on any other chicken they see as weaker. So you can rehabilitate a chicken with a broken leg by just letting them rest. You don't have to get rid of them. She's going to start laying eggs soon, and she's part of the flock again. How are you feeling? Feeling a lot better? Yep. I think that's a yes. I think she's ready to get down now. Here we go.
Okay, so there you go. That's how you, I'm going to get my screen off. That's how you heal a chicken's broken leg. You just stick it in a, safe place. We put ours back in these little boxes we got at Home Depot where they are the brooders for the little chicks when they're like little babies. We just put it back in there and rested it for about 5-ish weeks, and we did nothing else. And the chick's leg just miraculously got better, and you didn't have to do anything to it. So there's a lesson for everybody. If you are sick or you need some rest, take the rest, because rest can do a lot to make you feel better. I guess, Julia, do you take a nap? I sometimes do like a nap, or I try to like just be quiet for half an hour each afternoon just to calm down.
Yeah. Actually, the Chinese people think taking nap is very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned about the one thing. Okay, we have early bird discount for our beginner class
yes.
by the end of the June. So if anyone interesting, come and join.
Come and join. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. And thanks. Thanks for everybody on Rumble too. And thanks for the tip, Govinlock82. And thanks for all of the comments over there. Divina Duckworth, quick tip: you can buy lots of Chinese green vegetables that are grown in the USA. Actually, this is true. Some of the best greens that I've been able to grow in my garden here in Florida are like Asian greens, like tatsoi, stuff like that. It grows really well in Florida. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's one thing I feel like I hope to have more variety fruit and vegetable in America. Very limited here. Yeah.
Compared to there. Okay, that's interesting too. All right. Well, Julia, you're gonna have to come to my farm and then help me pick out more variety.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. Go hire Julia as your teacher. We'll see you next time.
Okay, see you. Thank you for everyone. Nice to meeting you again.